What's up, everyone? I'm the one, the only Jack Slater, aka the Comic Outlaw. You know who I am, the man with the plan, the man that always delivers. And I can make this woman's body shiver. Ooh, yeah, the savage She-Hulk. Yeah, and we're going into it, y'all. We're about to drop it right here and now. Double Jeopardy with the Gemini. Well, they say three's a crowd. We're going to find out right now. And last issue, she was given the serum by Morbius because that disease in her blood, what Bruce Banner gave her to turn into the She-Hulk, was slowly killing her. This sort of balances her out. She begins to kind of feel better, but she must revert to Jen in order for it to take full effect. And she's having problems transforming. But Morbius understands where she comes from and kind of guides her through it, telling her she must revert to her human form. And she turns into Jen Walters. Zapper picks her up, and they're both happy that Jen sort of has her life back. A life away from She-Hulk, and away from all the stress she's been feeling lately. But, of course, she gets a phone call from Buck. And she's very evasive on what's going on, due to the fact that she's been gone here and there. But Buck suspects something, and Buck also calls in a friend. And that friend tells him exactly where the phone call is coming from. And she kind of meets up with her father. Father's a cop, and he tells her off. I can't believe you're defending this person, and blah, blah, blah. Jen is kind of feeling lost, not knowing what's going on. And then all of a sudden, she figures out what Buck was doing. Buck had ratted her out. Indeed. She has been named the defense of Morbius in the papers. Now, Jen is lost. Her father kind of knocked her off her pedestal. And she's sitting there and she gets a phone call from Morbius in the middle of the night. Now, Morbius thinks she's in on this, that she's kind of blackmailing him or trying to get an advantage on him. And she is just as clueless as he is. So they decided to join forces. And this is the first step in how Jennifer defends heroes later on. But we'll get to that much, much later. Of course, Buck goes on to explain Morbius's dubious past, how he killed people and why. Jennifer explains that he was under the influence of a serum. It wasn't his fault. And to prove this, they give the serum to two rabbits, who in the bloodlust ends up killing another one. And this is where the jury finds Morbius guilty of manslaughter and gives him a fair amount of jail time, but not enough, according to these people. But a stranger, walks through. A Gemini who was created by none other than Nick Fury. And by accident, he created this being. This being is able to split into two. And able to both play judge and jury. Reason and emotion. For he is Gemini. For he is not just one. He is two. And this man lays hands on Gemini. And he's prepared to judge him as he splits. And the other body slumps down. Now, these are two different sides, like I said before, reason and emotion. And they're able to pass judgment on certain people, situations. And they decide to help these victims of Morbius. They decide to dispense their kind of justice upon the former vampire and still renowned bloodsucker. There's nothing former about Morbius. There never is. But anyways, Gemini attacks, goes after both Jen and Morbius. Emotion ends up catching Jen. Reason hunts down Morbius, and they judge. They see them with both reason and emotion. And Morbius is trying to form a plan in order to get Jen out of here. For she didn't sign up to be murdered by these things. But the victims wait, ready to shoot Morbius, as these creatures judge with the full spectrum of reason and emotion. Unable to pass judgment, of course, they come together, and they declare the sentence for Morbius is enough. But it's not enough for the victim's family, as the father takes aim. And not wanting to risk Jen's life, Morbius jumps into the ocean, ready to sacrifice himself But Jen turns into She-Hulk as Gemini pulls Morbius's body out of the water, and she declares that they need to let him go. But Gemini has other plans. They separate again, and She-Hulk is able to beat them both down. One able to absorb power and one able to give it. They grab both arms and they kind of complete a circuit, giving her a massive dose of energy, and then combining, declaring that if the victims want to take whatever revenge they want, they can. As she reverts back to Jennifer, too weak to do anything. As the man holds the gun, he throws it in the ocean, realizing their daughter would want better. They'd want them to move on with their lives. And they walk away from Morbius the vampire as Gemini takes him to live out his sentence. And as she gets back, Jennifer, Zapper does a little joke and she mouths off at him, telling him where to get off. And he storms away saying that she's not the only one that has problems or feelings, leaving the She-Hulk alone. What will happen the next time we'll find out, and I'll catch you on the flip side.